What time was the last conversation, you remember?
With Casey?
Mm-hmm. No, with Caylee.
Sometime on the 15th when we put her to bed.
All right.
Now, George had a conversation with her in the morning, because she was there in the morning, had breakfast, did the normal stuff.
No time here, though?
Nope, none at all.
Okay.
And that was every time her and I would talk, that Caylee wasn't with her or something, there was something going on. That's why I think she's fabricated this whole story, so that she would justify to me why I couldn't talk to Caylee. Because she knew that if it wasn't a reasonable thing, then I would say, where the hell are you? And I'm coming to pick Caylee up because something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just like if she doesn't come home with the baby that night, she was thinking.
right, or she was, and that's why I think she stayed with Tony during this time, because if she called Annie and stayed with her for a month, Annie would say, where the hell's Caylee and why aren't you at home? Or any of her close friends. Tony, I believe, is someone, from what I found out now, is someone she just met very recently. So it wouldn't be a red flag to Tony.
Let me ask this. I understand that, and forgive me for asking because I've been doing so many things this morning. I understand that you guys have somewhere to be this afternoon,
yes.
Right? How much more time do we have here that you feel comfortable with?
Probably 20 minutes. We'd like to leave at 11:30.
Here's what I like to do. I want to focus on just the days that you saw Caylee. If there are any other days, I don't want to focus.
Nothing.
Okay.
The last day I physically saw her and talked to her was the 15th.
I don't want to focus so much on what she's been telling you, because what I want to do is I want to share some information with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that what happens is this is like a chalkboard. Your mind's like a chalkboard right now. Everything that's being told you, you're writing down on the chalkboard. But what happens is if what you're writing down on the chalkboard is false, you don't have room for what's actually true.
True, exactly.
So what I'm going to do is hopefully help clean some of that chalkboard off and provide you with some truth and some factual information that would confirm, because then that, in my hope, is going to help you look at this from a different angle.
Right.
Only because my biggest fear is that I don't want you to focus on something that you think is true.
Well, I know none of this is true.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I know that now it's not true, but at the time I believe it was true.
But here's what I want to kind of focus on. I want to focus on not as much what she's told you, that, like all this, we spent a lot of time on this, but, and apparently you know as well, all this is probably not true. What I'm trying to do is I want to try and show you...
But the people she was with may be true.
Well, and that's what I want to share with you.
Right.
Okay, because we haven't not only been looking at Zanny, we've been looking at Juliette Lewis, Jeffrey Hopkins, Raquel Farrell, Jennifer Rosa, all these people. We've been researching them extensively.
Juliette Lewis's number is JP's number, who is...
Well, hold on a minute. That's
roommate. I mean, these are things that we're finding out now.
That's what I want to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
Are that I want to try and help you differentiate between what's real and existing and what's not. Because I know there's a lot of things that you might think are real right now that we're finding out are absolutely not real. And people as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not here to hypothesize on if she says Zanny, she might mean this person. Or if she says, or if you say this picture was taken at this apartment, but it's this apartment, so we believe one is another. We're not going to focus on that. Okay, I don't even know what I'm talking about. That picture you said that was Zanny's apartment, was Ricardo's apartment?
Right.
And now you're thinking maybe Zanny is Ricardo's something or other?
Or Amy.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of things that you've also said that I need clarification on, because if you're out there saying these things, I need to know why you're saying these things.
I'm not saying to anybody but authorities. Absolutely. Because I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to accuse anybody in the public.
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of things I want to share with you. And I want to show you that we're actually working on this. Contrary to what, if you think that we haven't worked on this, I'm here to tell you, Cindy, from the day, let me finish, let me talk now. I've listened to you talk for a while. I want to be able to share some things with you. I haven't stopped on this. I can tell you right now that about a dozen people are strictly assigned to this, just here. And that doesn't include FDLE or FBI. I know you had to talk to FBI yesterday. I'm sure they told you what their involvement is with this. It was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I know they told you what their involvement is in this and what they've been doing to help, right? So you know that this isn't just something that we're kind of passing aside. I haven't worked on anything but this. Mm-hmm. Every other case I've had, every other person I've had, every other family I've had, I have told they've been delegated to other people so I can focus on this. And I'm not the only one. John's doing the same thing. He's been focusing on this. All the girls in our missing persons unit, the ones that were at your house, focusing on this. Several other detectives have been pulled from other sections focusing on this. So we're doing everything possible to try and get answers for you. And here are some of the things I want to share with you. I know that you mentioned Tom Frank, and I actually got an email that was sent to me. It was a forwarded email. Let's see if I can find the forwarded email. And I want to believe it was Lee that actually provided this for us.
Yeah, I gave it to Lee.
Okay.
Because I found it.
Right.
And I told him to give it to you.
Okay. Well, what we did was, obviously we have to follow up on these, and these are very important. So one of the things in this letter was showing that it came from a guy named Tom Frank. Right over here, event director, and his email address. These are great pieces of information that we could use. That person doesn't exist.
Okay.
Never did, never worked for Universal. That is not a valid email address.
Okay.
We've even tried. It doesn't come back. It's not a valid address at all. This person doesn't exist. I also went and I tried to identify some of these other people and saying where they work. And I remember, I believe it was either Lee or it may even come from yours. I believe it was Lee, though. He sent me an email of, I guess, what you guys had talked about last Friday at the jail. Where Juliet Lewis may have worked, where Raquel may have worked. There was saying Raquel worked at TGI Fridays. Juliet Lewis worked at Universal. We even went back to check Casey Anthony at Color Vision, because I know Color Vision took over from Kodak. And what the very, very blanket statement, what we found out is Jeff Hopkins, Juliet Lewis never worked for EIS, Event Imaging Solutions, which is the Kodak company that was taken over by Color Vision. So we know that wasn't true. We did a wage and hour check on Casey to see the last time she actually worked, and it shows the first quarter of 2006, which was with, I think, just as Color Vision took over Kodak. We also checked with Color Vision to verify. Let's see, this is Color Vision. And they said that Casey, Jeffrey, Juliet never worked for the Color Vision. And this is coming from their HR director. So what I'm doing is I'm just sharing info. I want to try and wipe clean some of the stuff that you think may or may not be true. I focused on Raquel Farrell, worked TGI Fridays, contacted TGI. They actually work for Carlson Restaurants owns them. This is the head recruiting specialist. No record of Raquel. The point I want to just bring to you is that the people that she's saying exist don't exist. I can tell you also, and I want to share this with you, is that you're saying that, again, we're pretty much on the same sheet that she's not telling you the truth. She's never been to Tampa over June, July. We know that for a fact. Her cell phone records have never left Orange County area. Right. She's never been to Jacksonville. Okay, so that...
Well, she was to Jacksonville.
June, July.
Yeah,
she's never been to Jacksonville.
Right.
So everything that we've gotten from her, everything that you guys are trying to get from her to help with this, it is still a lie. It's a consistent lie. And the problem that we have is that the more she tries to divert from what we actually need to do, which is find Caylee, the harder it is to find her. And I guess there were some statements made that concern me on TV, is that you said not too long ago on one of the shows that you know who has Caylee, but you don't want to say anything because you want to be absolutely sure before you mention this person's name. That was something that you said on the news. What's that about?
I don't think I've ever said I was sure, because I'm not sure about
You said you know who has Caylee, but you're not going to say the name until you're absolutely sure. You said that on the news.
I may have said I have my feelings.
No, you said
well,
you don't
I
have
have to
Caylee.
see the show.
Well, who is this person that you say you have your feelings?
Well, my number one suspect has been Jesse all along.
We know that Jesse doesn't have Caylee. Who do you...
You know for a fact...
We know for a fact Jesse doesn't have Caylee.
Okay.
Who do you think has Caylee?
You know someone that Jesse knows doesn't have Caylee.
I just said, you said Jesse may have Caylee. I'm telling you Jesse does not have Caylee. Who else do you think?
I think Jesse knows where Caylee's at.
Okay. I can tell you for almost a fact that I don't think Jesse knows where Caylee's at.
All right. Then I'm just not sure why he's making up all these, changing his stories.
Well, with all due respect, he's not the only one that's been changing his stories, right? Remember, you had that big thing about the 911 tapes and what you were saying initially, and then you changed your story, right?
What story did I change?
Well, the smell in the car, you're saying it's pizza, making the police come over to the house. You said, I said that just to make them come quicker, whereas that night...
Well, the first night...
Hold on. It's the same thing, though. You understand that? It's the same thing. And what Jesse says to some people sometimes, and then you're saying he changes his story, that's the same thing that you're doing.
No, I didn't not say that I heard Caylee's voice, and then turn around and said that I did hear Caylee's voice.
We're not talking about, listen, we're talking about the same...
It's not the same thing. It's not the